we've had a pretty boisterous day talking about so many different aspects of food policy.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say are some of the big takeaways from everything that you've heard, all the people you've gotten to talk to, all the people you've gotten to see today? And say, I think we had a pretty robust discussion.
One of the things that we at Organic Valley love about Food Tank is that people come and they bring it all, right? They bring their perspectives, their experience, their expertise, their passion, and we put everything together in a room. And today we've talked about food waste, we've talked about alternative strategies for changing the food system, we've talked about organic, we've talked about CSAs, we've talked about racism in the food system. And all of that in one day, sort of makes your head explode. But it's also, you walk out of the room with more understanding of where you fit in the system, what you can do to help, and the ways that we can come together and work collaboratively to make things better.
Now, as a company, Organic Valley has an opportunity to lead the pack among its peers and say, what would you say are some of the best things that you all are doing to champion what you believe in and tenets and values that you think are good for the whole food system?
Organic Valley has always considered itself a pioneer and a leader. It'll be 30 years next year that we said, the food system isn't working quite the way we need it to. And some farmers band together and they decided there's got to be a better way. And so we're pretty committed to continuing to look at the way things are and how we can maybe do things a little bit differently. So we take that responsibility very, very seriously. And one of the things that we really want to insert into every conversation is the cooperative approach. We are a cooperative of family farmers. We have 2,000 farmers in 35 states, and the only way that our organization has grown to be a $1 billion organization across the country is by cooperation. So we know that in order for our organization to work, it's all about cooperating. We also know that in order for us to be helpful in the food system in its entirety, it's about cooperating with other people. It's about cooperating with our consumers. Consumers are pushing and demanding different food choices. And so we are hoping that our model of how we run our business, a $1 billion business now, it's a replicable model. It's a model that is scalable. And so that we feel like that's our responsibility to help people understand this is how it works for us.
Do you think you stand out as an exception to say, well, we can be worth $1 billion and still have ethical treatment of workers and so many different things where other people say the bottom line comes first, and then we think about how we want to treat all the people who work to get our product from ground to plate?
Unfortunately, the bottom line has led the way for a lot of organizations over a long period of time. We've never operated that way. That's never been our core principle. Our principles are about farmers and families first. We are about taking care of the whole system. And what we know is that when we're taking care of the soil and the plants and the animals, that our farmers are thriving and that our organization is thriving, and therefore our consumers are thriving too. We bring our love right into our food, and that is a strategy that is very thoughtful. It takes a lot of work. It's not easy for us to pay our farmers first and then figure out how to run our business, but that's how we do it. And it's very different, and it's a robust model, but it's not something that just happens. You have to be thoughtful and you have to be considerate. So yes, do we think that that's a model that other people can look at and say, hey, we want to try it that way too? Yeah, we do.
Well, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right?
Well, I hope so. I think that it's challenging to say, look at the whole. It's challenging to try to collaborate. It's challenging to look at all the different pieces. And you have to, if you're going to thrive if you're going to advance, you have to look at all the pieces as a whole. So that's something we really work hard to do.
I love it. Anything? Very good. I love it.
Great.
No, I like your perspective very much.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not just perspective. It's what we live, and it's not easy, but and we're not perfect, right? I mean, that's the other thing. Organic Valley is not a perfect model, but it's a pretty good model. And we have thriving farmers all over the country, 35 different states. So for us, we know that in each one of those places, we have a thriving farm, a thriving family, and they contribute to a thriving community. So that feels really good. And 900 employees who also bring thriving to their families. So we want more and more every part of the food system to be thinking of that thriving for each part.